So this morning, President Trump fired off a lot of tweets. In one of them, Trump weighed in on the controversy over the right-leaning Sinclair broadcast group. Now, the company made all of its anchors read identical scripts that warned viewers about the perils of fake news. Now, the website Deadspin stitched together those videos and it went viral on YouTube. It also touched off a debate about media bias in the era of President Trump.
Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble running irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news
has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
The president defended Sinclair in a tweet. He writes, "The fake news networks, those that knowingly have a sick and biased agenda, are worried about the competition and quality of Sinclair broadcast. The fakers," and this is a quote, "at CNN, NBC, ABC, and CBS have done so much dishonest reporting that they should only be allowed to get awards for fiction." Now, Sinclair defended the promotional campaign in a memo to its 193 stations. Sinclair Senior Vice President of News Scott Livingston wrote, quote, "There is a lot of noise out there about our company right now, and what is lacking in that analysis is something that we constantly preach: context and perspective." Well, for some of that, we welcome Pam Newkirk. She's a journalism professor at New York University. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So when you saw that video, all of us have seen it, all the anchors in lockstep like robots repeating the same phrase. What did you think?
It's chilling. It's Orwellian. And it's a continuation of this kind of Twilight Zone space that we've entered over the past year. We've seen an American president attack the media, which is essential to our democracy. And now we see the rise of this network that threatens to further corrode what's left of the American media. Sinclair is a huge enterprise. It's not known like a Fox News, but its reach is far greater.
And perhaps that's what a lot of people are pointing out, because for Sinclair, it's not quite a network. It's a huge media company that owns a whole lot of little companies.
And it's poised to take over even more. It owns almost 200 stations. It has the greatest reach of any media enterprise in this country. It reaches 2 out of 5 American homes. So we're talking about a major media conglomerate, and if this effort to take over even more stations, they have a bid in now to purchase 40 other stations from the Tribune Company. That would put Sinclair in homes in New York, in Chicago, and Los Angeles. And what makes Sinclair even more insidious than, say, Fox News is that Fox News, we know what the brand is, so people know it's Fox News. But Sinclair has ABC affiliates. It has affiliates of some of the, respected news organizations throughout the country, and it's quite insidious that people may not know that their beloved anchors have now been kind of taken over. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right? Watching that video.
Now, in local news, there's this phrase that all news is local, and that despite the fact that we have these massive American networks, most people still turn on to their local station to get the local weather, to find out what's happening on Main Street.
Exactly, and that's the people they know, right? That they're like an extension of families. So when we're watching the sweep of Sinclair, but they're seeing their beloved anchors and their beloved reporters in their homes. They may not even see this viral video and know what's going on.
So one of the things that critics always point out is that perhaps this is generating so much controversy because there's a slight Republican leaning. That if this were a more liberal ideology, if it wasn't in some way supported by President Trump, that people would be less angry.
Well, I think people would be even more concerned if it was liberal. They would call it, communist, or, if it was the Bernie Sanders brand of news. News is not something that is, or should not be something that is given to us from up high and then disseminated as if everyone is in lockstep. What's happening in your community may be very different than another community, and there should not be some Pravda-esque type script that's delivered. And also, I think what was particularly disturbing about the message of that script was that it was further attacking the mainstream news media. So it's kind of delegitimizing. It's working in lockstep with the president, who is attempting to delegitimize the American media.
Now, Sinclair Broadcast Group, they actually released a statement defending themselves. Is it defensible, what they've done?
Well, I certainly don't think so, and I don't know anyone who could have watched that chilling display of so-called news, and I don't see how anyone could feel good about that.
So you teach journalism. You're a well-known and renowned journalist in and of itself, your own self. What advice do you give consumers of news, the readers, the watchers? How do you distinguish between what is fake news, what isn't, or what is a corporate mandated message?
Right. Well, I think now more than ever, people have to be even more media savvy and not take just one news organization as the definitive fact. I think we all have to be a lot more discriminating in what we're watching, what we're reading. We see now, with this whole Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal, that many people were being duped by so-called news on Facebook that was coming straight out of Russia. They were ads and posing as news. So I think it behooves all of us to read what we know. Whatever you think of the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Los Angeles Times, these are news organizations that have been around for a long time, that have gained a reputation, that have won Pulitzer Prizes, and so they've been vetted in a way that some of these other organizations have not been. And I think we just have to really look out for quality news more than ever.
So what I'm hearing is focus on the vetting. Thank you very much. Pamela Newkirk is a journalism professor at New York University. She's also the author of The Spectacle, The Astonishing Life of Ota Benga. Pamela, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Returning now to our top story, the shooting rampage on the YouTube campus in California. Police and federal agents are still at the scene. Police say the shooter was in fact a woman, and she is reportedly dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. She is reportedly a white woman who was wearing a dark top and a headscarf. A hospital said it received 4 patients. The White House said President Trump was briefed on a shooting. Again, this is a developing story, and so much of the information will be reported on later on. Next, the president targets Amazon again. What's behind the attacks? You are watching Arise America.